just a reminder to use the microphone available and raise your hand if you have a question. Who would like to go first?
I guess no beating around the bush, that's probably not how you wanted it to go tonight.
No, absolutely. You'd like a good performance, a crowd that's been entertained, and to be leaving on a high. And clearly the performance wasn't at the level it needed to be. So I think there are some very clear reasons for that, and it actually gives us a chance to really focus the mind, because these last games going into tournaments can be a little bit scrappy like that in terms of focus, because players are worried about picking up an injury. The most disappointing part tonight was out of possession. We didn't press well. We were too stretched, and we've actually in the last 2 or 3 games in particular been excellent at that. So that's the bit that we've really got to rectify. With the ball we could have been better, but we still created some very, very good chances. I think the players, or a lot of the players, needed the minutes. Players that have been coming back from injury, players that have played a lot but have had a week's break and are out of that rhythm. And of course at the end, where you ideally want the experience on the pitch to keep the calm and work your way back into the game, we were needing to take those players off to look after them. So yeah, look, a far from ideal night. I'm not going to dress up the disappointment about the performance, but equally we have to stay calm, because we know what needs to be put right, and we'll work on that between now and the game with Serbia.
Down to Tom Barkley here.
Hi Gareth. At the end of the game, there were quite a lot of boos, and there were lots of paper aeroplanes thrown throughout, which often happens in England games. Do you understand the fans' frustration, and what is your message to them ahead of the tournament?
Yeah, I completely understand. We didn't play well enough to keep them excited within the game. We had, as I said, we had some very, very good chances that normally would be finished, which could have given a different complexion to the game, and of course would have affected the confidence of the opponent. But that might also have masked some flaws that were apparent tonight. And from my perspective, I've learned a lot from the game, but no qualms with the supporters' reaction. You know, to have the fans with you here obviously makes a massive difference. But you have to give them enough goalmouth action. You have to play well enough, press and win the ball with intensity to keep them with you during the game. And tonight we didn't do that, so we have to accept the reaction as it was.
Sorry.
Gareth, can you just clarify? John Stones looked like an ankle injury in the opening minutes. He had treatment on the field, and he looked like he had treatment at half time in the tunnel as well. And then Mark Guehi, blow to the head. How is he?
Yeah, Mark, fine, I think. John, we decided at half-time no point in taking any chances, because we're obviously so close to the tournament, and he's a very important player for us.
Okay, Mike Walters and then Henry Winter after that.
Gareth, are you confident that we'll see the best of England against Serbia in 9 days' time?
Well, I'm confident we'll be better than we were tonight. Yeah, look, as I said, we're managing so many different things through that game, and we ended up with, you know, a relatively young team on the pitch, some of whom ideally we would have got off physically as well. You know, we actually, it was a game where we made 6 subs, but we'd have liked to have made more, because I think some of the other players could have done with getting out of the game a little bit earlier as well. So the physical side is a slight concern, because we've got so many physical issues. But as I said, we needed to get players out of the game on a precautionary level as well. So that part of it will be better for next Sunday.
Henry.
Gareth, hi. Phil Foden is such a special player. How do you get the best out of him for England, as City do?
Yeah, look, I think the team didn't play well enough tonight, so that it wasn't about individuals. I think Phil. We actually started really brightly. There were, Phil, Cobby, Cole. They combined really well, and when we let the goal in, I thought the team lost a little bit of confidence and composure. So, we have to accept when you're in an England shirt that they're the moments as a group that we've got to react in the right way, and that's something that I've spoken to the players about, and that we can address over the coming days.
To the middle here.
Hi Gareth. You said you learnt a lot from the game. It's the first time that you've lost your last game before a tournament, but it is obviously a friendly. How much does it change your thinking, the performance, the bits from tonight ahead of next Sunday?
Yeah, not a huge amount, because I think we haven't had the full group together and on the pitch at any one point. But it does focus the mind, it does focus on how we have to drive the team, the sort of reaction we need, that any sort of complacency that talent is going to get us, this trophy, and that we only have to sort of stroll in. I mean, football is not like that. You've got to be spot on in every aspect of the game to win any game at this level, and we were a long way short of that tonight. And Iceland deserved their win. They had a couple of other chances on the break that we didn't deal with. So I think it really focuses our minds to drive the team over the next week.
In addition to the focusing of the mind, obviously you're disappointed with the result and the performance, but what were the main wins for you tonight, individually and as a team?
I think a lot of players needed the experience. A lot of players needed the physical level that the game provided. As I said earlier, not just those that haven't played for a while, but those who have had a couple of weeks without a match. You need that rhythm of playing. You can train, but there's nothing that replicates the game. So, there's a lot for us to improve upon. But as I said, some players in very early stages of their England careers and will have learned a lot about themselves tonight and about the team and about international football, and the collective of the team that's likely to start hasn't really been on the pitch at the same time. So I think important to get Bukayo back, for example. Important for Gurhey and Trippier to get more minutes. Walker, Stones, those guys who've had time off, come back in. They needed the rhythm of playing. Feel the same.
Gareth, just on that, I mean, there's maybe a perception that over 8 years you've been steadily building as a team, particularly in attack, and now suddenly when you look very close to the trophy, it's a raft of new and young players who don't necessarily know each other or haven't played together. Is that over the top, or is that actually an issue, especially with the way you've talked about stuff like automatisms in the past and how the team gels?
Yeah, look, I think with the ball, we weren't at the level we can be individually, passes that were given away. But it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't the major problem tonight. The major problem was without the ball, which meant that they got uncomfortable in the game. And if we'd been better without the ball, I think the rhythm of the game would have been different. We'd have had more sustained attacks. And we created enough chances to win the game. So, yes, we can be better with the ball. We can be individually better with the ball. But it wasn't the biggest factor, in my opinion, in the game tonight.
Hello.
Gareth, is there any wider concern than just tonight that we've going now 1 win in 5 games, which is rare under you for a run like that.
Sure, yeah, but I think there's reasons for all of that. The last qualifying games and the March games, again, well, this one similar. We seem to have been managing players physically right the way through all of these matches. In the autumn, it was because we'd qualified, they had big club games coming up, we had withdrawals. In March, that's always the scenario as well. So, yeah, physically the team is not perfect, and we've got to make the best of that. But having lost the likes of Maguire and Shaw and people as we have, then the guys we've got in are the best in those positions, and we're doing everything we can to get them at the level that they need to be.
Okay, Jacob.
You seem to be talking a lot about worrying about the physicality. I mean, are you spending most of your time and too much of your time than you would like just worrying about whether players are going to be fit enough for this tournament?
Well, we're focusing on all aspects really, but we can't hide the fact that we have got a lot of physical issues. That's plain for everybody to see. Nevertheless, we can be better than we were tonight, and we've got to be, as I said, more compact, press better, and then take the chances that we created. But I think we can resolve that. It's a good opportunity for us to get on the training pitch, remind ourselves of what's important in terms of winning football matches. And if the intensity of your game isn't right without the ball, then it can cause you a lot of problems with the ball as well.
Okay, we'll take the last one from Lucy Berry at the back, and then we'll wrap up.
Hi, Gareth. There was a lot of talk before the last Euros campaign that your squad was very young and inexperienced. I think a lot of people would argue that this squad is even more so. What lessons did you learn from the last campaign that make you think that this squad will be even more successful than the last one?
Well, we've obviously lost some experienced players like a Henderson and a Maguire because of physical issues. So we've put in the players that we think are the best available at this moment in time in those sorts of positions. And the core of the team still have a lot of tournament experience and a lot of caps. We haven't, in the last couple of games, had the core of the team on the pitch at the same time. And tonight, a lot of the players we're taking off at the point of the game where you need to be accelerating the game and pushing to pull the game out of the bag, having gone behind. So, that's an unusual night, I have to say, to be having to manage players, get players off, really hoping to get other players off, like Cobby, for example, that we would have liked to have got off earlier physically in the game. But we had so many physical issues, we had to protect the core of the team. Tonight, for me, of course, will be a disappointment. I understand the reaction that everybody will have, but I have to stay calm because I know the reasons for it. I can see what we need to do in the next week or so, and without a doubt we'll be far better next Sunday than we were in the game tonight.
Okay, we'll end it there. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.